the timer on so I don't go too long. Alright, yeah, I'll be loud. Okay, so I just kind of wanted to repeat basically what testimony I gave at both Criminal Jurisprudence Committee and also the health hearing, because I kind of thought a lot about what is the true, boiled down argument that would sell with Republicans like myself, people that believe in small government fiscal responsibility and personal liberty and personal responsibility, family, whatever, and not using all of our law enforcement resources for this low priority offense. So basically, we've got HB 507, as we know, that's scheduled to Calendars Committee now. So we hope it gets out of Calendars Committee, and if that happens, then for the first time ever, marijuana is going to be debated on the House floor in that building. Really cool, but you know what else could not be cool about it is if a lot of politicians come out and say the same rhetoric about gateway or slippery slope, and I think that we should have to make them defend the failure of this law. And I mean, I'm only talking about 507, so I basically pulled out, and I have this fact sheet that I go around these offices and I lay this out for them, and I say I pulled out this data from these states that have changed to civil penalties versus criminal penalties. And then I pulled out Texas, and I show them this graph, and I say, we're not doing so well. Can you tell me why Texas isn't beating these civil states? Why don't our law enforcement have to prove why this policy is working? Harris County has a first chance intervention program, it's new since October, where they don't arrest people for up to 4 ounces of marijuana. I don't think that marijuana has flooded the high schools in Harris County, and guess what? That was law enforcement initiated, because they know that marijuana offenders are a huge waste of resources. I testified in front of City Council in Houston, and the city councilman said, it is true, we do have to bring in extra beds for the marijuana people, and we are letting go more violent criminals out of the city jails because of this. So that is also going on in Travis County and Dallas County now. So why are 3 of the largest cities in Texas doing this and we can't get it statewide? So question, anyone who's coming out of Harris County or Travis County or Dallas County should say, I mean, do you support your local law enforcement that are already doing this? You should be supporting this. So at least they should be testifying for us in that building on the House floor. And then I kind of lay out, we're not doing any better. So what are we spending? I mean, it's not like we're at the same level, but we're spending a heck of a lot to get to this exact same level. What are we spending? $250 million a year as estimated by the ACLU, and up to $730 million a year as estimated by Representative Joe Moody, who filed the bill. I mean, $250 million to $750 million a year, and it's 7.5% of total arrests in Texas, and this is a minor policy issue that should be shoved aside? No, that's ridiculous.
That's right!
Thank you, Heather. Thank you for that. So I think that's ridiculous. So I'll move on. That's the decrim argument that I give. And then on the medical argument I give, and I think, like we talked about, I think that we have made a lot of progress on the hearts and minds of Republicans on that committee. And so I don't think that all is lost if we don't get a vote. I would love to get a vote, obviously, and I think that Groundover should hold a vote. And I think it's pretty clear that people on the committee want a vote to be held. But we have made progress. We have made a lot of progress this year. So what I say to lawmakers is there a desire by doctors to recommend marijuana? We currently trust doctors to recommend lots of drugs off-label, that FDA approved for things that they recommend that are off-label. They have high overdose deaths, or the possibility of overdose deaths, extreme consequences for your organs. So do we trust doctors with that? Yeah, we do. We do in Texas because they're trained and they're licensed. So can we trust them with marijuana? Is marijuana safe enough for doctors? Of course it is. And would every single doctor, if marijuana were legal tomorrow, recommend marijuana for patients? Absolutely not, because they're freaking conservative. So they would look at it and question it one by one. They might. And a lot of the first doctors that would are because of the patients here today who talk to their doctors about it and have formed those relationships. And those relationships, y'all need to get your doctors on board to send the same message in that building. If you can convince your doctors to come and say the same thing, all they gotta say is, yeah, if marijuana were legal, I'd probably research it more and probably would recommend it for XYZ condition. That's the message we need them to send. And do they have enough information in the 23 other states and several countries that they need to know to recommend marijuana safely? Yeah, they do right now, but why is the marijuana research not out there? It's because the federal government. So I asked directly, are y'all telling me that Texas is going to wait? And y'all have to answer this question. Is Texas going to wait on the federal government? And that's what they said. That's what the committee said. So push them on that. I mean, are they really? You tell me. And if they are, then why don't we all together, state lawmakers, go to our congressmen and demand it? Okay? I mean, if that's their stance, then they better be at the meeting with me tomorrow with Ted Poe, you know, and with John Cornyn, Ted Cruz. Because it is the federal government that's holding it up. I mean, would marijuana make its way into the black market because of the medical, issues? What I say is the only people that aren't getting the marijuana they need are the medical patients.
That's right.
It's only the most vulnerable people that can't get it today and can't get it safely and can't talk to their doctors about it. And we have studies that show the same thing, that medical marijuana does not lead to an increase in the black market. So basically, I say it all boils down to, do the doctors want to recommend this? So what I need from y'all is to recruit your doctors, because we know that they want it, and they're allowed to speak. They're allowed to say what they want to say. I've had doctors in that building with me, and if they're afraid that a lawmaker is going to spread their name around, that they came to their office, tell them there is no lawmaker in that building who's going to hold a press conference about one meeting about marijuana. It's safe for them to talk. And anyway, so I really appreciate everyone coming out, and this issue is taken a lot more seriously. Just yesterday in that building, when I was talking about 507, a lot of staffers said, well, honestly, we didn't think it would get this far. So we haven't talked to them about it that much, and I don't know what their sure stance is, and I'm like, well, you better talk to them about it, because it's time. I'll let you know when it gets scheduled, and I'll report back. RampGOP.org, and friend us on Facebook. We'd love to have your follows, and if y'all want any of my info, I'll post the one sheet that I have on 507 on our Facebook page.
Yeah!